Hey everybody, welcome to Adam Makes Beer, and today we're going to be discussing how I adjust the pH of my Sparge water. I've gotten a lot of questions about adjusting water pH through the various steps of my brewing process. Prior to this, I add usually at least calcium chloride and gypsum to my mash. That will help to bring the pH of the mash down. But in general, especially because of the water profile that I'm working with here, I use a fair amount of food grade phosphoric acid at 75%. And that's easy enough to add with a measuring cup kind of throughout. Just spread it out a little bit as I'm mashing in. I like to do that this way. But how am I adjusting the pH of this Sparge water that I'm doing? I use a food grade spray bottle. This one is HDP2, which is a food grade material. I have my Sparge going right here. Sparging. On my brew sheet, I will have listed right up here however many gallons of Sparge water that I have to put into this beer. In this case, it's about 330 gallons of Sparge water. I divide that by 5. And why? Because on this bottle, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main gradients on it, okay? Using the software called Brewing Water, I know how much acid has to go into this volume of Sparge water. And so I will add that to this, and then I'll top it up. I'll dilute it with water up to 25. I'll turn it and things like that. So then I know I divide that Sparge water volume by 5, and then throughout the course of the 67 gallons that I have, which is 1/5 of the Sparge water that I'm using, I'm gonna spray 5 ounces of this diluted acid all over the top of the mash. Now you're gonna love how squeaky this silly thing is that I'm using. It is a little hands-on, but I like it better than the practice of just saying, okay, I'm going to take what is for me 440 mils of acid and just pouring it in there, or trying to pour it in throughout the course of it. At least with this food grade spray bottle that I'm using, I can spray it over the top of the whole surface of the mash as we go. My bottle is ridiculously squeaky and everything like that. It's kind of a joke here in the brew house, but it's a little bit hands-on, but it works pretty well. I don't have to be up here the entire time though. I kind of just keep an eye on my flow meter for every 50, 60 gallons, and I make sure I get in there and I hit up that whole surface of the mash bed that's getting hit with Sparge water. It's made an impact on my beers, especially the lighter beers that I'm making. Keeping that pH down, for me, I'm trying to get all that Sparge water into the range of about 5.5. It helps to not pull tannin out of the grain, especially in light beers, it really shows. Some of you might be saying right now, why aren't you adjusting the pH on your entire hot liquor tank? If you're brewing at home, that could be a really easy way to do it, because you'll have an easy vessel where you could dose your acid into and drop that pH. I think that's great. But for me, the way my hot liquor tank is, it would not be easy to do that. There's not a simple way to recirculate that and get that acid all turned over and homogenized into the water, if homogenized is the right word, I think it is. But yeah, so for me, this is a little hack that I use for kind of spreading out that acid over the course of the entire Sparge. If you haven't done something like this, check it out. To me, water chemistry is kind of one of the last frontiers that you really need to be pushing, as long as you have solid, decent drinking water at home. But whether you're brewing on the home or pro side, I think getting that pH under control is actually something very beneficial to your finished beer. Anyways, this is how I'm doing it. It's kind of works well for our system. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it like this, please leave in them comments below. If you get any value out of this, in particular, share it with your other brewing friends. I would really appreciate that. Give it a like, stuff like that. Anyways, happy brewing. Hope you have an awesome day. Bye.